how it all went south.
All right, so I talked a little bit at the top of this episode, Jason, about this story, and I think I called him Greg or something like that. It's Grant Amato is the guy's name. You know, for whatever reason, I feel like I got to at least respect the guy's right name, given what he did. But I think this story, as I talked about a little bit, it sort of speaks to, I don't know if you want to say mental disorders or mental health issues in people today, or if it's just addiction. And addiction, of course, could be alcohol and drugs and things like that, but it can also be just internet addiction or, in this case, porn. You know, and the links that people will go to keep their addiction going is really, really mind-boggling. Everyone knows what people will do or has seen or heard what people will do to get their fix on drugs. But those things really do apply for any addiction at a certain point. You'll see what I'm talking about. Grant Amato's life spiraled into tragedy, culminating in the murders of his parents and brother. Growing up in Florida with his brother Cody and parents Margaret and Chad, he also had a half-brother Jason who did not live with them. Grant shared a close bond with Cody, attending school, weightlifting, and later traveling to Japan together. They both pursued nursing at the University of Central Florida, but while Cody completed the nurse anesthetist program, that's a tricky word, anesthetist,
Yep.
Grant withdrew and became a nurse at Advent Health Orlando. Grant's nursing career was short-lived, however, ending with his dismissal due to suspected theft and improper administration of prescription medication to patients. This led to depression and isolation, during which he became engrossed in online activities, including live streaming, gaming, had a Twitch channel, and also pornography. He developed an intense parasocial relationship with a Bulgarian webcam model, Silvia Venceslavova, or Silvie, as she was known online, showering her with gifts and money to maintain contact, believing that they shared an emotional connection. You know, not to laugh at all, but I think that's the point. When you're talking about, you know, cam girls and like, you know, what's it, OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff, like they don't like you. They're not interested. They're not, you know, I mean, it's, you're paying them. To fund this obsession, Grant stole over $200,000 from his family, falsely claiming that the funds were for promoting his Twitch channel. I can't.
Maybe
I mean,
he should have just done that.
I mean, and so stealing. I mean, he was actually stealing money in various ways. Like he'd get a credit card and, you know, use the credit card or whatever. But his family was giving him money. Say he was just lying about what it was for. But $200,000, saying, you know, to promote your Twitch channel. Like that's trusting.
Yeah, it's kind of like, aren't you working at the hospital? Don't you have a good enough paying job already? Like, what's the result, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't know what it takes to launch a Twitch channel, but if it's 200,000, count me out.
Yeah.
When his family discovered the theft and his obsession with Silvie, they initially prioritized his well-being, sending him to live with his aunt, Donna Amato. However, he soon, of course, began stealing from her as well. Despite this, his parents persuaded Donna not to press charges, and in December of 2018, placed Grant in a rehabilitation clinic for pornography and internet addiction. After leaving rehab early in 2019, Grant was given an ultimatum by his family: attend therapy, find a job, manage your finances, and stop contacting Silvie, or you're out. You're out of the house. You're basically out of the family. he disregarded those conditions, using his mother's phone to contact. I mean, like she's not going to find out.
Wow.
You're using her phone. I mean, what is this message that's popping up?
Right.
And that led to the expulsion, his expulsion from his family, on his family home, rather, on January 24th, 2019. So they actually kicked him out when he used his mother's phone to contact this webcam model. The following day, Cody failed to appear at work, prompting a welfare check. Sheriff's deputies discovered a horrific scene at the family's home. Margaret was found dead at her computer, that's his mother, Cody in a storage room, and his father Chad in the kitchen, all victims of execution-style shootings. Now, Grant's car was missing, triggering a search that ended with his arrest at an Orlando hotel the next day. When they talked to him, when investigators talked to him, he displayed a complete lack of emotion and denied any involvement in the murders, even when presented with images of the crime scene. You would think, if you've had anything to do with this, I mean, this is your family, whether you're on good terms or not, right? I mean, no lack of emotion seeing these graphic images of your murdered family members. Evidence soon pointed to Grant. WSEH-TV reported that prosecutors accused Grant of staging the murder scene to look like his brother Cody had murdered his parents and then died by suicide. He was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Further evidence revealed that a family credit card was used to purchase $600 in tokens to access Silvie after the murders. I mean, like right after the murders were committed, he grabs, I think it was his mother's credit card, and spends $600 accessing, whatever website this was for Sophie. It's. I mean, how bizarre is that? And I mean, bizarre is not even the right word. I mean, it's disgusting. But you want to think about this scene. You've just killed your parents. You've killed your brother. You've attempted to make it look like your brother killed them and committed suicide. And your first thought is to go get mom's credit card. Not hide the bodies, nothing like that.
Yeah, I wonder, it's like, does he end up using an insanity plea? Because it feels like something that, like, he's just gone into another world almost, right? Like how you do one thing and then do another, and you're just stone cold about it.
Yeah, and again, like that thought process, I could not wrap my head around when looking into this. I just kept picturing that, again, that crime scene, and your first instinct is to go get the credit card and talk to a webcam model. I mean, I don't know that you could argue insanity on that, because is an obsession like that, does that warrant insanity? I don't know.
I wonder if she ever found out anything about this guy.
I wonder that too. I didn't see anything about it. I didn't look for that, but I do wonder that. And the other thing too, Grant used his father's fingerprint to access his online banking to get more funds. I mean, his dead father picked up to unlock his phone, used his finger.
Wow.
That's so disturbed. Yeah. So disturbing. He also attempted to claim his parents' life insurance, but the claim was denied due to his suspected involvement in their deaths. Grant was convicted on all counts on July 31st, 2019. While prosecutors sought the death penalty, testimony from his surviving brother, Jason, the one that did not live with him, I think it was a half-brother, I said, who expressed love for Grant despite the tragedy, may have actually influenced the jury's decision. On August 12th, 2019, Grant was sentenced to 3 life sentences without parole. And his defense attorney described his chilling lack of emotion throughout the trial, saying, quote, "I considered it a huge victory," meaning that he didn't get the death penalty. That was his attorney, Jeffrey Lukal. He said, "I've never been around a defendant with such a lack of emotion when so much is on the line and it's your life. There was no breakdown. There was no breakdown crying. There was no turning or to me or hugging me because I saved his life. It was just standing there, straight-faced, no emotion."
Wow. That's a lot for a lawyer to say, too, because they see it all.
Sure.
Right?
You have to, I mean, this guy is giving that, and not even that's his thought privately or talking to his family. I mean, you're saying this to a newspaper or on TV.
Yeah.
Like, I just saved your life, man. He's currently incarcerated at Tomoka Correctional Institution in Daytona Beach, Florida. And his appeal in May of 2021 was unsuccessful, thankfully. That case also was later featured in a true crime series called Control Alt Desire on Paramount Plus, which I thought that name was really clever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but I actually really want to watch that because I know obviously there's probably a lot more to this story that they've maybe found out.
And there's a lot of material in that space these days, in the true crime space. Like there's endless stories, unfortunately, like this.
Yeah, it's just bizarre to me. I've known in my life, I've known people who have been addicted to drugs or to alcohol. I've heard plenty of stories from people that I know who've had friends or family members like that. Anybody, thankfully, that's been to a level of addiction where they're doing crazy things, selling a TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've cut those people out of my life, but I just have not. I can't imagine an addiction like that where you would, this loving family. I mean, they gave him every opportunity. Just giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars for something like promoting a Twitch channel in their minds, to paying for rehab, which is not cheap, convincing your aunt after you've stolen from her not to press charges. I mean, they did literally everything they could as a loving family and supportive family, and you kill them and then steal more money from them. It's
well, and we're used to, I stole a bunch of money to buy drugs, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Yeah.
He did it. He went on. I mean, that's wild too.
Yeah. I think with drugs, there's a physical dependency, so you can rationalize it in your mind. I think, okay, he needed a fix. He was whatever,
right?
And I guess that in an addiction like this, there has to be that chemical gets turned on in your brain, that there becomes some kind of physical dependency or need for it, right? You would think.
Yeah. And I think something like this shows that sexual addiction is not a made up problem at all. Like, oh my God, he's just, he is just the way he is, and webcams are everywhere. It actually is a real big problem, because no one goes to these extremes because of these addictions unless it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was a really interesting story, and it's almost, I think it should be, and probably is going to be, a case study for psychologists and people like that. Just because there are a lot of cases of people who've gone to great lengths for obsessions and addictions and things like that, even porn or internet or whatever it is. But this kind of sets the bar a little higher. That's it for this episode of How It All Went South. I'm Sean Kipe with Jason Hoke, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe, like, comment, rate, review, do all that kind of stuff. If you're listening to the podcast, check us out on our YouTube channel at How It All Went South. And I don't know, happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Well, it's a couple wonderful stories to end the day.
Yeah. See you guys.